Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. We're back and we're almost going to wrap it up, I think, on the cardinal this time. Okay, the one thing I want to show you on the underneath side of the tail, we had that real light tan color. I'm going to ask you to give it an extra wash, okay? It just didn't come up enough, so I meant to tell you, should be 2 to 3 washes under there on that, so it has an off tan, a reddish tan in there. So that's what you want to achieve there. What we're going to do today is we're going to highlight some of these feather edges along here, and then we're going to tone this down one more time from what we did with the raw umber that we used before. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to gloss the beak, and I'll show you how to do that too. So bear with me. I'm going to move the camera down and then we'll move on. Okay, back again. We're going to do some washes. What I did is I got some white paint, very little, watered down. And I mean watered down. This shouldn't come on strong at all. If it is, we're going to lessen the whiteness of it. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to come in here on these right on top, and we're going to come around with a real thin brush. Maybe I better charge that up a little bit more. Or maybe get a better brush. Hang on 1 second. That one's just not holding its point. And I like this one. This is a pretty good brush. If you have something that will really hold its point, that's ideal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm just doing the edges, just the edges of the feather. And I mean really keeping it in tight, right on the edge. And I'm working the paint right around the edge. Doesn't have to be all the way up to the top, but at least on the back end. So hope you could see this well. I'm going to charge the brush up again. Let me just come back in here. There we go. Now it's starting to flow. That's a little much, but we'll live with that for the moment. I'll show you how to soften that. So we're getting the white right on the edge there. I hope you can see that. Now, if you got too white, which is what it looks like right there, I just rinse this other brush out with water, and then I'm going to come in and just lightly touch it, wipe my brush out, and I'm not going to the edge, but look at it. It just picks it right up, not over there, and acts like a sponge. So I'm just going to hit the interior part. You can see it just taking some up. So that's what I want to do. I want to just come in here and just, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to come in and just take that all off. Get me a towel and dry that, and it's up. Now we'll do it again. So you're going to come in here, walk that down, and you're going to come into the next one. You're going to walk that up a little bit more. Don't like the way it's grabbing. Right here it gets a little blotchy, so I'm going to come in and pick up some of the white. like so. Then I'll do the next one. I'm going to keep it in control. And if you notice, it's really like ghosting in there. It's really not coming strong. And the number brush I have here is a number 3, which holds the paint pretty good. And you just trying to run that edge just like I'm doing now. You're running it around like that. You're just trying to enhance. They have like edges on the white. I mean, I'll get that right. On the edge, there's a white edge. And I carry that up a little bit further, just like that. Then I'm going to do a couple right here. And just a little here, 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 here. Notice I haven't charged my brush up, so this should do the job. And then the last feather down there. I'm not going to do these coverts in here. I am going to charge the brush up one more time. And then I'm going to do these in here, which are right along the edge, and swing around, and then come along the edge, and swing that around. And then the edge here. Come around. Okay. Little got all over, so I will just tap in a little bit here. And there. Now I'm going to do this grouping right in here. This one. This one. This one. Notice I get a little longer on the white as I come up. I'm going back on this one a little bit more on this one. And when it fades, it's going to fade to nothing almost, okay? It's just giving a hint of color on the edge. And you can see the white doesn't really hold up a whole lot. It really doesn't. And it doesn't have to. If you want, you could come back on some of them and just touch it up a little bit on the second coat. And just charge this up a little bit. I'm taking most of the paint out of the brush so I can just come back on the bottom edge just to enhance it. Just a little bit. Hope I didn't go off camera again like I do at times. Like so. Like so. Like so. And you try not to get your hands on any of this so that you don't take the paint right off. That's why this handle is good now, because you're not touching it. At least you shouldn't be touching the body. But that's called famous last words, because sometimes I touch the body, and I don't do it purposely, but that's the idea. So there it is there. And you're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do a couple of the tail feathers here. I'm just going to do edges here. Right on the edge. Well, I didn't like that at all. That didn't go on even, so Let me just see. Here's how I can erase everything real quick. Try it out with a paper towel. I don't know if you've seen that. I did it again, went off camera. Take the paint off my brush. I'm gonna hit right around there. There. I'll drag it up a little further each time. Okay, like so. Like so. And if you notice, even on this up here, it's really not that prominent. It really isn't. There. And here. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this side. I'm going to come around here. Like so. I'm going to come around here. And you need a real nicely pointed brush. It really helps. And a number 3 really holds the paint, as you can see. And it works out pretty good. Notice I got my finger on here to steady myself with the brush because it's hard to put the paint on and keep control as you're putting that on. So let me go back on here and just add a little bit more. Just to get this down. Starting to run out of paint. So when you run out of paint, you come back, take a lot of it off because you want to keep this in really control. There's no real wetness to this. This is flowing really. I'm just trying to hit the edges. Not doing the best job, but I'm going to rinse that brush out now. And then I'm going to clean up just a little bit where I got it inside too much. Okay, I'm going to leave. Let me just come back on this. Okay, so I'm going to have you do that to both sides. This side is the same, is going to be the same as this one here. And as you can see, the white has really somewhat subdued and it almost fades away, but that's the way it is. They're not real prominent. And if you wanted them, you could come back. I mean, you can come back and charge your brush up. And if you want to bring them in a little bit more, you can do that, you know, and I'll show you. I'll just hit the edges and the back end here just to make them a little brighter. We'll do a couple more up here. These sort of really faded away. And where they come on real strong sometime, it looks like it's white. I just rinse the brush out. And then the brush acts as like a sponge. You could come in and just subdue it. Dab your brush out. And then pick up some of this. It's going to dry lighter. It will. It's just the nature of it. But you can really get it down to real like a real feathered edge. Okay? And let me do a little bit more. And I'm going to do a little down in here. Just to brighten it up a little bit. But But our next stage is going to subdue this again by, we're actually going to put a wash of ultramarine blue, which I'll show you shortly here. And I'm just wiping that in here, like so. So you can enhance it. There's one more right there. You're just following those edges. I'm going to carry that down into here. Rinse my brush out. And then get it into a point. Then wherever it's coming up real strong, I could just pick it up a little bit. There's one area right down here that's come really. So that's what you're trying to achieve there, okay? And now, let me show you this. I got a little bit right out of the tube and just dabbed it, okay? So I didn't even put like a quarter of a pea or anything like that. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to fill this up, at least 3/4 of the way. And that, oh, I'm sorry, should have showed you that. That is called ultramarine blue, okay? And I want this as a wash, so I really want this mixed really good. I had very little paint to start, but like we did with the burnt umber, excuse me, we're going to put this in as a wash, and it shouldn't have any paint. I'm gonna put some over here just to play safe, that I don't have anything solid. And then I'm going to add just a little bit more water to make it really a wash, and I'll show you on the paper towel how this comes out if I do it right. Let me rinse my brush out so I can get all that out of there. Now I'm going to go into here, take the excess off, and you see how pale that is? Now, here's what I want to do. I want to come in, just like we did with the raw umber. I'm going to pick this up. This is the real watered down one. And I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to come in over. And that should be dry, which I think is pretty dry right now. And I'm coming right over this area on the wing. I'm doing it again, going to the wrong one. Dab that down. Come up here. Get that. Come up this way. This is going right over that white that we just put in, so don't get, that's what we want to do. I'm covering this whole thing in here. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to do the tail. I would do the other side, but I haven't painted it yet because I want to try to conserve on the time, and what you're doing here, you're going to do over here. So then we come into the tail. Here we go again, over here. Dab it out, lay it on the tail, come right down. Get that right in there like that. What this does, it gives it the shadowing and the look, because their tail's a little darker, and the blue will bring that out. The blue is like a shadow color on the red, and that's where we're at. And I want to get the edges too. Make sure you don't go all around, because we're still looking for that lighter color underneath, which is, this is going to even be more darker on top, definitely now. Let me get, doing it again. Here we go. Okay, I hope you can see that. So we washed it from all the wing feathers, okay? Right on in. Just up into the mantle a little bit and back. And that takes care of it. Now, the last thing we want to do on the cardinal, and let me put this over here a second. I'm going to get this brush because it goes into a point. This is the number 3. What happens on the beak, this here is Liquitex, but you could use anybody's brand, gloss medium. And what I do is I just open this up. I've wet my brush, so I get the water out of it, and then I just get, it's only went in about maybe 1/4 of an inch on that brush. And that's all I want on there. I don't want a lot. Then what I want you to do is come over here. I'm going to try to hold this now because I need to work this up here. I'm going to paint the whole beak, just the beak, with this gloss medium. And what this gloss medium does is it gives it a sheen on the beak like it normally has, which is it gives it that bony look at the same time. Because it's bony, it has a sheen to it, and that's what we want. And if it comes up real glossy, what you can do sometime is to come back and just get your finger, after it dries, because it has to dry, you can just massage it with your thumb a little bit or finger to take some of the glaze off. But most of the time, you can see that glaze on there pretty good. And that's what I'm looking for. And you want to get it into the split. And that's the other thing I want to do too. I'm going to get a little bit of the blue. Here we go again. And I'm going to run that right in there. Let me get this one. May have more of a punch. Just a little one right there. And then on the split of the beak right in there. Just so it stands out a little bit more. Okay, so there we are. So now what we're going to do on the next video is we're going to show you how to mount it. We're going to get the legs on and feet and legs, and then I'll show you how to finish it up. Okay, so see you on the next video. I hope you got something out of this one as well. If you did, definitely give me a thumbs up, ring the bell or whatever, and subscribe to my channel, and I'd appreciate that greatly. And I'll see you on the next video.